Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. Use code DNVR when you sign up to get amazing odds boosts. I'm your host, joined by freshly shaven, the lovely AJ Haefele.
Finally, I get some lovely up in here. Finally.
With the shave, you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him after taking care of the face. Avs win.
I look like a really big thumb.
Hey, don't knock it. Some people have hairy thumbs, all right? Sometimes you can leave the beard and still be a thumb.
Word.
Avs win 8-4 over the Anaheim Ducks.
We gotta start somewhere else first.
Yeah, have to not start with that.
We have to start with a special shout out today to our guy Brad Francis, who turned 19 today.
Getting old.
So welcome to being old, our young friend.
He's from Canada, right? So that means he can drink now.
That's right. He's one of our guys. So wanted to make sure that we gave him a special shout out today.
So there you go. Happy birthday, Brad. For once a real birthday on the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Should we start with there you go. That super chat there, and thank you for the previous super chats as well. The Avs king of the game, Nazem Kadri. Probably, oh yeah, we do have the graphic ready. Look at that. I knew what I'm talking about. 4 points on the night, 6 shots on goal. The Avs' second line is kind of carrying the mail right now for this team offensively. The puck's going in for him. Kadri with a tip-in goal, as well as a old school slap shot from the top of the circles that finds a way in. Right now, this line is on fire, to say the least.
Yeah, they're the top line. they're the ones who are producing like crazy right now. Colorado's top line is producing more akin to a second line. Colorado's second line is producing like a high-end top line right now.
Yep.
Maybe a mid-tier top line. A non-North Division top line.
There you go. There you go. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So, look, there's nothing more you could have possibly asked for the Avalanche offensively out of this game. 8 goals, obviously, but they also hit 5 posts. The second line we mentioned, the top line got theirs eventually in this game as well. Mikko with a bank-in goal. McKinnon finally pots a pretty one with a one-timer goal. Even the bottom 6, I mean, Belmar gets the empty netter, and it's not like they looked bad even if they didn't have the great production. So
I'd like to see the fourth line beat a goaltender, but I'm
you
not
would
nitpick an 8-4 game, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I guess we should do this conversation in the first period, at least to a certain extent. The Avs can't start.
You can't play again.
You can't start him again. You just can't.
You can't play again.
It's
through 4 games, and obviously I understand what that sounds like. Through 4 games. Hunter Miska had the worst save percentage in Avalanche history.
Yep.
At 865. 865?
It was, I don't know.
865.
After tonight, yeah.
And then he gave up 4 goals on 7 shots.
Yep.
You can't play for you again.
There's no way.
Just can't happen, man.
Talked about this before, and I was one of the ones that was like reasonably okay with the Avs sitting on Miska and just dealing with it. But it's gotten to the point now where you are saying we are willingly losing this game if you play Hunter Miska.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for sure tonight was we are resting Philip Grubauer come hell or high water once they left him in after the second goal.
Yep. Because
those first two goals are stops.
They're
by
soft.
NHL
They are
goaltenders.
just soft, period.
It's not like we're nitpicking here. It's not like it's like, oh, well, this is happening or that's happening or that's happening. Those are just bad goals.
Yep.
They're just bad goals.
So,
You know, the only goal in that period that I'm not going to crush Miska for is the 4th goal, the penalty shot.
Yep. Penalty shots people score on, but even the 3rd goal, yeah, defensive breakdown, 100%. I don't think the defense was great tonight, but the dude goes 5-hole on you. As an NHL goaltender, you can't allow that. You cannot get beat 5-hole on a standard wrist shot. That is just not a goal that can happen.
Yeah.
So, we've had this conversation before, but the dude's not an NHL goaltender. He's just not. I'm sorry.
Let's kind of get through the checklist of the Hunter Miska talk.
Yep.
He's not an NHL goaltender. Okay. There was a lot of talk tonight about like Hunter Miska's like a young, developing
dude's 25.
Give it some time, et cetera, et cetera. We're just going to disagree there. At 25 years old, as a goaltender, you're more or less you are.
Forget the fact that he's 25. 1 year ago today, he had to settle for an AHL contract. And no NHL team would give him an NHL deal on the surface.
The only reason he ended up getting the NHL contract at the end of last year is because the Avs had to.
Yep.
They had to give out that contract. So
they needed another goaltender.
Look, like he was a good AHL player for the Eagles last year. He did what he needed to do. You could tell last year he probably was not going to be the guy, but let's be real. Like he can help the organization. It's not like Hunter Miska's done with the Avalanche organization. He's still signed for next season. He can be a solid player for the Colorado Eagles. Yeah. But this even as a third goaltender, this hasn't worked.
I had this conversation on Twitter today too. Right now, today, I can confidently say Hunter Miska is a better AHL goaltender than Adam Werner. But his style of play and the scrambly, small goaltender style that he plays just does not function in the NHL. It doesn't work. Go watch the last 5 games he's played in the NHL if you don't believe me.
It's funny because it started out, the LA game was fine.
Yep.
None of us killed him for that game. It was fine. The stuff that showed up in these last couple of starts didn't exist in the LA game. Yeah. Like he was not like super scrambling and panicky. He wasn't getting beat cleanly on non-threatening shots. Like he was fine in the LA game. He was fine in the Arizona game right up until the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like he started out totally forgettable. Like he had, the Minnesota, he played the one game in Minnesota too, where he gave up 4 goals, but they gave up 33 shots on goal, and it was a close game. It was an overtime loss.
There were always shaky moments in those games, right? But shaky moments that you expect out of a third string goaltender, things that you can live with.
Absolutely, and they were competitive in both of those games, and so you're just like, okay, well, this isn't great, but
at the end of the day, in his last 3 starts. Yes, there are moments where the defense was bad, but the reason you employ a goaltender is to make a save in that exact situation.
If you're relying on completely perfect defense all of the time, you don't need to pay a goaltender, right? Like it got these last 2 starts have just been too bad. They've been too bad. Like excessively bad. Like you just can't play him anymore. And it's not I hate when you like criticize a player that is deserving of criticism and people want to make it out like it's personal. Like I hate Hunter Miska.
Yeah, like
he's just not an NHL goaltender and he can't play for you again. The difference in the game today is the fact that Jared Bednar was like, look, we were down 4-2 and we could have scored 5 goals in that first period. We gave up 4 goals on 7 shots.
Yep.
That one of them is a penalty shot. So, okay, he gave up 3 goals on 6 shots. It's not any better.
It's
He's got to move on.
I'll say the same thing I said the other day. I'm sure Hunter Miska is a great dude. He's a better goaltender than I'll be at anything I ever do. But he's not an NHL goaltender.
Right.
And that's just reality. It doesn't take a trained set of eyes to look at what Hunter Miska has done in the NHL and say that's bad.
Yeah. Look, and you can pick it apart. And you can go through his game log and blah 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 blah. But the reality of it is that he has posted in 5 starts. He has not posted a single 900 save percentage game. Yep. Not one.
Yep.
He had the shutout going in Arizona for 58 minutes, and then he gives up a bad luck goal and then a brutal, like,
just
what are you doing
goal. Yep.
So I don't know, man. I hate it. I hate that it's gone this way. I was really, really hoping Hunter Miska would be totally serviceable, but this is a disaster.
Yep. It's not good enough.
Look, claiming Anton Forsberg is fine. I have no bones there. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are and how long he'd have to wait, and I don't know about all that. That would have to be the next step if they get the award. But whatever. That's just, dude.
Yeah, a couple of questions here. S-Bang asks, Werner an option in the near future? It's the only reason I see for playing Michigan, not looking for another goalie, or is Frankie around the corner? At this point, I mean, it's gotten to the point where I don't care. Play
Straight
Werner
up.
or go get a goalie or do whatever. Whatever Adam Werner gives you, it can't be worse. It might not be good, but it can't be worse. So do something. Yeah. Eddie asks, question about the PP, is the pass on the blue line during a break in a draw up play or a player decision? It's kind of both. The way they draw it up is, I mean, obviously they have the drop pass where they drop it back to McKinnon, and it's like an option play, right?
Yeah,
he can carry it himself, or he can leave the pass or whatever.
Exactly. There are multiple options that they have drawn up as set plays, where player decision plays a big role here.
Yep.
Sure.
Anton Forsberg is free. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I don't want to spend too much more time on Miska, and like I wanted
to get it out of the way in the first period.
Definitely.
Talk about everything else.
We can just move on from it because it also shows the value of having a guy that your team trusts.
Yep.
Because one, I don't know that Gabe Landeskog takes that penalty. If Hunter
thinks his goalie can make a save, yeah. For sure.
I don't know that he does that in the first place. Maybe he gets scored on anyway. It doesn't matter. But just watching how the team responded,
it's obvious how much more confident they play with Grubauer in net.
Just with the goal. I mean, just with the goalie, they're like,
if I make a mistake, I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
You look at the third goal, where all 3 of them are in the corner. It's because they're all desperate to try and get that puck out of there.
Yep.
And so they're doing a little puck watching, a little Rocket League chase the ball action.
A whole lot of ball chasing going on.
Yeah, that's what that was. That was a bunch of inexperienced 3-on-3 Rocket Leaguers just chasing the ball, just driving around chasing the ball. It was bad. It was really bad defense, but the shot was nothing special, and it should have been stopped. And boy, I mean, you can say that they didn't help him a whole lot on those last 2 goals, especially. But even then, my goodness. So anyway, we'll move on from that because I don't want to sit here and have like a dunkathon on Hunter Miska.
It's not.
I feel awful for him.
All that said, the Avs won this game in dominant fashion, so let it go.
Yeah.
On that note, we'll take our first period break. We are, of course, sponsored by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR, also the official seltzer of DNVR these days. I think most of us here at DNVR agree their seltzers might actually be better than their beers because their seltzers are insanely delicious. Like, for alcohol, their seltzers are dangerously delicious. Like, you're not even sure you're drinking alcohol. That's how good they are. So head on over, find your Breck Brew Seltzer at a local place near you. You can use their Breck Beer Locator online to find a store with them near you. And of course, you can always head on down to the DNVR bar where you can get 8 different kinds on tap. Highly recommend you come down and sign up for a membership with us here at DNVR. Of course, you get all of the amazing content from AJ, Evan, all of the other beats as well. And you can get member beers at the DNVR bar, the big 22 ounces. So jump on it. It's worth it. We're We're not there yet, but I'm so excited when all this COVID business is finally done and we can pack the DNVR bar with a bunch of members and just go ham, hopefully in time for the Avs playoffs.
Yeah, and I won't be nearly as nervous about coming down and saying hi to everybody in the bar.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like I'm happy to like sit up top and like wave at people, but I'm still really nervous about it. Till I get that vaccine. When I get vaccinated, it's
what up?
I am most likely going to make an irresponsible decision or two.
Once the vaccine comes.
Yeah.
So looking forward to those days. They're hopefully not that far off. We're also
I like the idea that I look like Lex Luthor from Smallville. I'll take that. I think I look like a thumb.
That's not bad. That's not bad, actually. No, I totally see the Lex Luthor resemblance there. We are also sponsored by AJ's new money saver, Gabby Insurance. What was the actual number? I was like $300 it saved you?
$364.
$364 saved on AJ's insurance, thanks to Gabby Insurance. Someone was posting it in the Slack the other day. Like they could save D-line like over $1,000 in insurance costs.
Dude, I saw that and I just wanted to be like, "What are you doing?"
So Eric definitely did something wrong there. That's D-Line Co. Go make fun of him while you can. But also check out Gabby Insurance. You're probably overpaying.
Not a month. No, $364 a year. I'm sorry, not a month.
$1,600.
I was not the one screwing up my insurance so badly. That was definitely Eric.
Clearly that's Eric. So don't be Eric. Go save yourself a lot of money with Gabby Insurance. They'll set you up. It's totally free to check, and there's no obligation. They just want to get you the best insurance available for you. Head on over to gabby.com/DNVR. That's GABI.com/DNVR. And remember, they don't sell your info or anything like that. It's totally free to you to check out their website and see how much money you can save. Again, gabby.com/DNVR. Be sure to put that DNVR on there. It lets them know we sent you. Yes. Also, congratulations to Blaze and Blaze Jr. winning the state championships. I don't know what age division that is. I'm not going to lie, but
kids.
You won't see Blaze on the show tonight because he was too busy winning hockey games. Yep. Coaching winning players. So,
yo, newcomer of the year shout out. That's definitely Andre Burakovsky. He was the actual winner of that award. 2 years running, MPJ has lost that award to an Av. So, know your place, homie.
Hold them L's. I guess it's this one for the reverse shot. Yeah. Is it high school? All right. Well, he's only a freshman, isn't he? So must be nice.
We are actually going to do that, Eddie. Yep. We are going to talk about Martin Kaut. We're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles.
We're going to talk about should we start with Kaut's Oteagle or should we start with 2 goals from Jean-Luc Foudy?
Okay. The Jean-Luc Foudy thing is starting to get really interesting.
Unsigned, drafted in this most recent draft, wouldn't even be allowed to play in the AHL in a normal year.
He's 2 years from AHL eligibility.
Is currently the Eagles' second best scorer on the team. Only TJ Tynan has more points.
Some context. The Eagles are terrible.
They are bad.
Offensively, they are downright inept. So some context here. But
nonetheless,
Jean-Luc Foudy looking good. He looks really good too. Obviously, have not watched tonight's game yet, but have watched a handful of the other ones. Yeah. And
I'm gonna be up late watching that game tonight.
That is, and then Martin Kaut with the overtime goal. I mean, perfect night, right? Jean-Luc Foudy, Shane Bowers, Nick Henry, Martin Kaut
goals, and then
Kaut your goal scores.
Yeah, that's what the AHL is all about, baby.
Then Sampo Ranta gets a goal taken away in the Big Ten championship game. Great.
Not bad. Not
good.
Bad.
Good prospect day on a day where the Avs scored 8 goals.
And this was after yesterday, or was it Monday that BC went off with Newhook and Hellison and Ambrosio? So times is good. You can watch Eagles games by going to AHL.TV. I believe a full season is $70 this year.
It's so cheap this year for one team. I just got a thing the other day in the mail for. It was like an advertisement where it's on sale again.
Yep. It's never been more worth it than this year for sure.
Yeah, especially if you're okay with watching ECHL caliber teams.
Only ECHL caliber defenses in the Eagles case, but
yeah, I guess that's true. It's just not great.
There's a bunch of dudes on taxi squads around the league for sure that has lowered the quality level, but it also gives opportunities to Jean-Luc Foudy. So let's go.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, don't even bother coming back OHL. Just let Foudy stay.
Right.
Oh yeah, a single team pass this year is $35.
Oh, it's that cheap right now?
Yeah.
Just go buy that. Watching the Eagles is worth it if you have any interest in Avs prospects.
Yeah, definitely. So 8-4, man.
8-4, and this was with. By the end of the game, it was 5 posts for the Avs. This game could have been 12-4 easily.
I don't even know what to say because it was just like everybody that's in the chat watched the game and knows that the Avs kicked the ever-loving shit out of the Ducks tonight.
Yep.
And were it not for truly porous goaltending, this would be one of their big blowouts of the year.
Yep.
So, honestly, I could just turn this thing over to chat and say, what you guys mad about today?
All right. Let's hear it, chat. Get mad about something. I'm ready.
Yeah. Is there what can we nitpick from this game for you guys?
That's an interesting question from Houston. Are you guys both Avs fans or just hockey guys?
Hockey guys.
Yeah. There's look, I started as an Avs fan, and the conversation about being a fan is honestly a very weird one now because I think both AJ and I live in a world where this is our job now. So we're much less of a fan than we used to be.
When you start doing this, you start doing this job, it becomes a living. To be honest with you, the fandom gets chipped away at. You start rooting for certain things to happen.
Yep.
Instead of going into every game and being like, I want the Avs to win, go team. It's a lot more like I want to see.
There are storylines that are developing.
Yeah, I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens when Hunter Miska gets a chance in the NHL, after being left for dead by Arizona 2 years ago.
The answer is disappointing, but yeah.
Yeah, but you want to know. You want to see what happens on the other side of that. You want to see what happens when Jacob McDonald gets 15 games. You want to know. You just, what we do is we root for stories. We get into we like to just talk, and obviously we're paid to talk about the Avalanche, so that's what we do. But Rudo and I both watch.
The consumption of hockey never stops.
Tonight leading up to it, if I'm not covering the game in person, I'm watching whatever games are on leading up to the Avs game. And if there's a game on after the Avs game, then I watch that one. And now that there isn't a game on, I will write, and then depending on how tired I am, I will either watch the Eagles game or not. And I'll watch it tomorrow on an off day.
AHL TV, ECHL TV, the entire major junior package, Svensk Hockey TV. I can't even remember the name of the one that has the Finnish ones. It's like fanseat.com or something.
Yeah.
Both the Russian juniors and VHL YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
There's a CBS Sports Network, which has a bunch of the college teams, and CHC TV for Tyler Weiss. The number of subscription services I am subscribed to strictly for hockey it's literally like a significant chunk of my income. I'm not going to lie to you. Anytime you don't see me live on this podcast or when an Avs game isn't happening, I have 4 monitors because 3 of them have hockey games on them a lot of the time.
Straight up. It's funny because we're the very definition of your modern day millennial hockey nerd.
Oh, totally. 100%.
It's funny because it's you'll get the people who are like, did you guys ever play? And it's it honestly doesn't it doesn't matter to me, but it's funny because it's just
know a secret, chat? I never played.
Yeah. No big deal. And like you will struggle to find people as passionate about the game as the two of us.
Yep.
So we're definitely not your like, I don't know, played the game for a million years and then just transitioned into something. Like Blaze is that guy. Evan is that guy.
Yep.
Those are your very traditional hockey route guys. Rudo and I just sort of stumbled our way through life and found our. This is where we ended up. So.
Since I've made this my job, funnily enough, there's a quote from Artosis, and this was originally about StarCraft. But he said, "Look, I believe anyone can be a professional caster if they're willing to put the time in. You don't have to play the game at a high level, but if you don't, that means you have to put that much more time into watching and understanding the hockey game."
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I didn't know the podcast was going to go this way, but
yeah, I mean, it's always interesting when people want to get into our jobs and our lives. And
for
stuff.
sure.
But yeah. Anyway,
I'm not
about the game tonight.
Yeah.
Kadri versus Delorier, no bones.
No, Kadri played it exactly how you want to, from the better team, from the team leading. He's willing to get into the mix-up. He gets the 2-minute penalty sharing, saying, "Hey, cut the nonsense out." And then Delorier tries to extend it, and Kadri says, "No, this is dumb. I know I'm the better
looks
player."
Up at the scoreboard and is like, "Bud, we got 3 more times to play each other this year. Like, I'll see you down the road. Maybe by then I will have figured out who the hell you are."
Yeah, that's true. Are we going to start a war in chat over these Ducks jerseys? Because it's a very much love or hate relationship.
I love them. I think it's great if if people don't like them, that's cool too. I love that the NHL did something super goofy.
Nah, I don't like
Look,
them.
I mean, it's pretty obvious I only want the OHL to not come back so Foodie stays in the AHL. That's it. That's all it is. I think it would be awful for the draft if the OHL does not come back.
Yeah. We're already getting questions from people on Twitter about this year's upcoming draft, and the question is, who the hell knows?
The other day we got a question of who are your guys' favorite mid to late first round prospects for this year's draft, and it's like, I can tell you a couple of guys that I absolutely love in this year's draft.
You're always going to have your
dudes,
but
I have no idea where they're getting drafted. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough year. Do not envy the NHL amateur scouts right now.
Yeah.
So you can't do. All right. Is that the problem? People on iPhone can't do the super chats? Is that what people were struggling through the other day?
I don't know.
Sorry, folks.
I've never tried to super chat, so I really don't know. You know, how am I feeling about McDonald? I tweeted. I put on Twitter tonight that I'm slowly coming around on, is Jacob McDonald actually good? Because he just keeps making good decisions. I don't know what to say.
It's not going to work if he doesn't start producing points. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I will say that that's true of a lot of guys, though.
You're not wrong.
Belmar, Calvert, Jost, Nichushkin's got to stay. Nichushkin, now that he has produced offense, cannot go dormant for another month and then show up again and produce points. Like, they need those guys, so they need to give the bottom 6 really has to start chipping in, and the defensive depth has to start to chip in just a touch.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but when you talk about those guys, there's a particular style of play. Belmar, Jost, Nichushkin. These guys are on the ice. They're going to be effective in the defensive zone.
I'm sorry, but that's not good enough.
I agree with you, but in the case of Jacob McDonald, there is no reliance in the defensive zone on that guy right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not too worried about the Dan Renouf and Greg Patterns because they will be gone soon. That sounds mean, but it's just like, we know that the Avs are getting healthy.
Patterin is probably first on the chopping block, and Rudolph is right behind him. So
yeah,
that is what it is. Yeah, we're both wowers right now, Brecton.
yeah.
Junior team.
We're not actually in the same guild, but we rate it the same.
We're
in the same
pseudo
grade.
in the same guild. I just have mythic aspirations that I've given up on at this point, but that's okay. Favorite team name?
We missed a super chat somewhere.
Did we?
Apologies. Not the $5 for the new goalie fund.
Super chat.
Nomad.
From Anime.
Yeah. Are the questions about Foodie's skills gone, or is it still something to watch for? Which skills? Because the skating and the playmaking were always the intriguing aspects of his game.
Yep.
Those are the things that have shined in the AHL.
I don't know. Look, you can't answer questions at pro hockey until players get to pro hockey, and that's the encouraging part for me. Foodie is earning an NHL deal at the pro level right now.
Definitely. There's a big question with Foodie. It's a big question of is he too unselfish, and can he score? Can he the shooting, and then some hockey IQ concerns.
Yep. Tonight certainly helped answer the shooting questions.
Scoring goals. Well, I mean, the more goals you score, the better the better you start to feel about that, right? Because how many guys do you see score 15 to 20 goals in the AHL become 5-goal guys in the NHL? You know, it just gets harder and harder at every level. So if he starts to really flex as a shooter in the AHL, you're really feeling good about the player that you had. And let's be honest, there was a reason that Foodie was looked at as a first-round talent who underperformed last year in his draft season. It's
not that far from Bocage, right? Like,
yeah,
Bocage's shooting is NHL caliber. Foodie's skating is NHL caliber. It's
Foodie's skating is high-end NHL caliber now.
It's the question is, can he build an NHL game around it?
Yep.
So,
playing with pace will not be a problem for that guy. But, woo.
Just how good is Sam Girard? Top 20 defenseman in the league? Top 30?
I was going to say certainly top 50. I would say probably right now he's pushing top 30. But definitely top 15, which, keep in mind, there are a lot of guys on top pairings across 31 teams. Some guys belong, some guys don't. Some teams are also stacked, that have Sam Girard on second pairings when they're healthy, So,
I mean, it's a tough question for some guys, right? Like Rasmus Dahlin. The dude is a monster of a hockey player. He doesn't have the offensive production this year.
Yeah, having a horrible year.
Is it a guy having a down year? Where does he really fall on a good year, on an average year? How much of it is Buffalo being an actual dumpster fire? It's hard to do those rankings, especially when you get outside the top 10.
Yeah.
But Sam Girard is very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we just started getting flooded with super chats. There's a lot of these things.
Everyone with full health here. We'll do this one and then we'll take a break. We'll get to your other ones after the break. Everyone full health. Who are your top 6D right now? The top 4 is very easy. You have Taze, Girard probably is, second pair if you're keeping them together, and then you have Makar and Byram. Byram probably is the number 4 if you want to do it that way.
Byram would easily be the 4th guy right now. Let's not pretend he's on the level of those other 3
yet. No, he's strictly not. But
he's, I would say, he's been better than Graves and worse than those other guys, so he's your clear number 4.
And the 5 and 6 gets murky, right? You say full health, but does full health include EJ healthy, or is EJ just not coming back? Like,
if you include EJ, then I have Graves EJ with McDonald at 7.
Yeah, I think
if I don't have EJ, then I have Graves, McDonald, and then Rudolph at 7. I mean, and if Timmins is healthy, I take Timmins over Rudolph.
You probably have. I would have Timmins at 7 in that case, but yeah, it's even when you say full health, it's not exactly clear what you mean right now because of injuries like EJ who are out long term.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit tough to answer that in certain ways. But we can take our second period break there, as we are sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. If Hunter Miska starts another game, take the over on the Avs game. That's all I'm going to say about that. There are amazing other odds boosts as well. You can bet $4 and win $256 if you bet on any underdog in the March Madness tournament and they win. I know on this podcast we've been heavily cheering against CU, so go Georgetown just to make Allie mad as she produces the show. You wanna take your bet there to try and win some money. Highly recommend it. Of course, any other underdog works just as well if you want to make your money.
Can we make Georgetown our DraftKings pick of the week?
There you go. Oh, we should. We'll save that. We'll save that for tomorrow, and we'll make that pick. I'll go look up like the actual odds and everything. Head on over, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Be sure to use promo code DNVR. Let them know we sent you over there. Helps us out a ton when you guys use our code. Again, DNVR. Very simple is the code. Get your chance to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We are also sponsored by MSU Denver Online. If you don't want to go to CU, maybe MSU Denver Online is the answer for you for a school in Denver. All of their teachers come from the fields that they teach in, so they're great not only at teaching you what you need to do in that field, but they're great networking opportunities as well. So give them a call today, or you can check them out online at MSU Denver, of course. And you can also ask us here at DNVR. I's taking classes there. Allie's taking classes there. Harrison as well. So if you're looking for any insights, feel free to hit us up. We'll be happy to let you know. MSU Denver, giving you an opportunity, whether it be your first time or just getting back into classes. Either way, they have an option for you. So check them out today and get back into school while still living your life. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Rudo and AJ here. Thoughts on Graves? Is he a good penalty killer? Yes, he is a good penalty killer.
Yep.
Look, the offense hasn't been there right now. There's been some questionable decisions getting made.
Yeah, it's been imperfect.
Here's the thing with Graves. I struggle. You can't make any real decisions on him until the Avs are reasonably healthy again, because right now, a lot of his problems are that he's out of his depth.
Yeah, overexposure is a real thing. We saw it in Colorado for years with guys like Nick Holden, where everybody laughed when he got traded, and Patrick Waugh said, they just got one of my best defensemen, and everybody took that to mean Patrick Waugh thought Nick Holden was his best defenseman, but realistically, Nick Holden was arguably the third best defenseman on that year's defense behind Eric Johnson and Tyson Barrie.
Yep.
And Nick Holden has gone on to have a nice career. Overexposure in Colorado just happened to be a problem. We're seeing it again with Graves right now. So I want to see what happens when Ryan Graves gets back to playing with a
16 minutes a night, more reliable partner for sure.
16 to 18 minutes a night, and penalty killing, same partner on a consistent basis, and it would help him. This isn't really his fault, but it would help him if he wasn't trying to usher in a rookie all the time.
Yeah.
There isn't really an option for that unless EJ is healthy.
Correct.
But it would help him.
It wouldn't hurt.
He will be. I think I am of the belief he will be fine if they get some health luck on the back end and he gets to settle into a role where he's not being jerked around a lot.
Are the Avs contenders again? They never weren't. Next.
Yeah. Is it reasonable for the Avs? He makes $8.25 million.
So
probably not.
Even fully retained, that would be tough for the Avs.
Yep. Even because they only have they have 5.1 million right now with EJ on LTIR. So there's not a lot of flexibility there.
It's go Buffs. All right, whatever. Moving on. Am I allowed to get a Taves jersey if I have a Adam Foot fetish? All right. We don't kink shame here. Do what you want.
Yeah, straight up, fam. Are we as hyped on New Hook?
Yes, the hype is off the rails.
You must not be a long-time listener because you should have heard us on draft night. Long-time Alex Newhook fans here, and the hype has only risen.
It's funny because on draft night we both loved Newhook, but we also both loved Peyton Krebs.
Yeah, it's true. That forever, and especially because they're going to go against each other at the top of the West for a few years.
Yep.
Like, it's going to be very interesting to see how Krebs and Newhook potentially end up as their 2 or 3 Cs to start their careers, respectively. Like, it will be interesting. You will never get me to say a bad word about Peyton Krebs, though. It won't happen.
We do also know his name is Alex on this podcast, by the way, so that helps.
Yeah. What did they call him the other day? Joseph?
Joseph Newhook. Yeah. All right. Haven't really mentioned it much on the show today, but we do have a $50 gift card to the DNVR Locker to give away.
Can I just say, it's great that somebody wanted to give this away to the community, but whoever wins it, I might recommend patience.
There might be more shirts coming.
Knowing that we have maybe another shirt or 2 in the works that you may or may not like.
There's one shirt that there's some hype behind it. Let me just tell you, internally, there's a shirt we have coming that people like. Okay.
True.
That's all I'm going to say. So for the $50 gift card, we're going with our king of the game here. Give me in the chat, type nasty with a Z. There you go. From the mouth himself. Working on one right now. Give me a nasty in chat.
Really not. Stop hanging out in our YouTube chat and get back to work, Eric.
Slacker. Big slacker. There we go. A couple of nasties coming in. We'll give you guys a little bit of time to get your entries in. Be sure you follow us on Twitter as well. Do all those good things so you qualify and can win a $50 gift card to the DNVR Locker. I mean, AJ, as we're wrapping up talk about this game,
I really wish I had more to say, man. Devon Taves, 3 assists tonight.
Yep.
And that play that he made, the 1-on-3,
yeah,
and the high end of the zone right there to help create the Rantanen goal. All of the things that led up to that goal were insane. The Devon Taves twice, and then Landeskog with the toe, just casual toe drag around a guy, and then he cuts to the net, and then he has a great chance on his own rebound. He wins the puck on his own rebound and then misses the net. And then Rantanen 100% throws it off the back of Miller's helmet on purpose.
Yep.
And Ryan Miller's reaction was his like, this MFer just did this to me again.
Yep. It's the way it goes.
And a little bit of puck luck. Sam Girard. Of all the guys who needed puck luck, Sam Girard, the guy who's maybe benefited the most from good shooting percentages this year, outside of Jonas Donskoy,
straight up banks one in.
Gets the kind of puck luck the Avs have been needing. I will say it's a little it's a little validating that a week after you and I were like, everybody stop freaking the hell out. Because the way that they're playing right now is spectacular, and it's going to lead to goals. And they have, 12 goals in their last 2 games?
Yeah, with 8 tonight, that makes 12.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, this is a lot more of what we were expecting. I mean, not 8 goals. The 4 was more of what we were expecting.
Yeah.
We knew early on tonight it was probably going to take 5 or 6 to get the win.
Yeah.
But it was good to see the team just break through and get rewarded.
Yeah.
Taves best steal since Waugh. Dude, the Matt Duchene deal is still.
Yeah, that thing's.
I mean, you get Sam Girard and Bowen Byram out of that thing, and who knows if they ever get anything else. But even if it's just those two,
yeah. Taves, don't get me wrong. The Taves trade looks great, and
it's a great deal.
Continue to be great, but the continued impact of the Matt Duchene trade is.
Yeah. I mean, you get two of your top four. We were talking about their top four when healthy. Two of those guys came from the same deal.
Yep.
The Taves deal, and it's not since then. You look at Matt Duchene's career, and it's like,
yep.
Somebody on Twitter actually tonight just posted their stat lines without any other information.
I posted that like TikTok version video.
It was I think Girard has more than doubled his scoring
it's
now.
Significantly outpacing him. How much is that? Is Nashville? Maybe some.
$8 million for, what was it, 7 years in Nashville? And now Sam Girard is on a 7-year deal at $5 million, and he's doubling Matt Duchene's production.
It's a little bit of an oh-no. A little bit.
Oh, boy.
All right. Let's give away this $50 gift card. No more entries. We appreciate everybody here in the live chat very, very much, but only one of you can win. Nightbot, here we go. Do your thing. The winner is Sasha Hoffman. Congratulations. I don't know if you have Twitter. I'm going to assume you have Twitter. If you're in chat, give me an okay or something. You can DM me on Twitter, Nathan_Rudolph, and I will get you all set up with your gift card. Much appreciated for everyone who entered. Really appreciate all y'all hanging out with us.
Imagine rolling into chat and not knowing what's going on, and the whole chat is just filled up with nasty. Like, what the hell does this mean? What is taking over?
You can also email info@DNVR. You'll get your stuff faster if you DM me, though, because I'm currently the only person who knows the code for this gift card in this entire company. So definitely not going and buying shirts myself right now. Definitely not at all. All right. Awesome. Congratulations again, Sasha.
Let's talk about this. I keep seeing it. Devon Taves is not getting left unprotected in the expansion draft.
No way.
The only way that happens is if they're like, we're trading you guys a first-round pick to not take him.
And
none of those things should happen. The easy answer, and we have said this a lot of times on the show, and when we get back into expansion draft season, we might just have look, I might have to change my Twitter header profile picture again, because right now it's of Martin Kaut's expansion status. I might have to change it to like a script. They are either buying out EJ or he waves.
Yep.
And they are protecting Devon Taves. That's it.
It's that simple.
Those are the things that are happening. That is it.
Awesome. Glad you're all set up, Sasha. I'll answer you after the show with the code, and you should be good to go. It's that simple. Buying out EJ, nobody wants to do it because EJ is awesome. He's been a long time Av.
Dude,
all of that. But
well, and from a business standpoint, you don't want to do it either.
Yeah, of course not. He's a quality hockey player, even if he's not worth the $6 million that he's worth. There's quickly becoming another conversation of, do you just leave that guy in LTIR forever? But if you give up Eric Johnson, even if you buy him out, that's $2 million a year for the next 4 years, or is it 6? There's only 2 years left on that deal after this year, right?
Yeah, so it's a 4-year buyout. It would be $2 million per year for the next 4 years.
An extra $4 million could do the Avs quite a bit. Yeah.
Look, it hurts.
Of course.
But You just don't have a choice. You're not losing Devon Taves.
Yeah, it's the protection list on defense is very, very straightforward for the Avs. Yeah. There's no bones about it. So,
yep, it's a very easy conversation. And then, I mean, we talked at the beginning of the year. The guys that we kind of looked at were like Comfort, Graves, Francouz.
Yep.
Funny how that conversation has changed. Because Francouz is not in the conversation
at all.
Ryan Graves sure might have played his way out of it, at least so far. There's still a second half of the season and playoffs.
And JT Compher's trying to play his way out of it.
And certainly, if Compher's a guy that's exposed, they're going to be like, oh, is there anybody else?
So definitely interesting there. I mean, there's still decisions to be made. Given the cap situation, it's looking more and more like the Avs won't be able to protect Brandon Saad, so that's not really a conversation.
Yeah, and I wouldn't use a protection spot on him anyway, but I would definitely try and sign him in free agency. I mean, they will know by the time they have to send their expansion list what the number is for Saad.
Yep. And
kind of they'll know Landeskog's situation, they'll know Saad's situation, the Makar situation will be more fluid. But yeah, I mean, look, if Seattle takes O'Connor, that sucks. That sucks for Colorado, but not that much.
Agreed.
Like Martin Cow takes that job immediately, and you're just like, oh.
And given the way play has gone this year, you're probably protecting Donskoy +1 on the forward core.
Yeah. The only reason you would expose Donskoy would just be because you're trying to entice them to take the money off your hands. So.
Yep. So you have this conversation about Val Nichushkin and Tyson Jost, basically.
Yeah. How thorough of a beatdown was it that we have talked almost not at all about this game? We're like dicking around talking about the expansion draft and shit. Like,
if Hunter Miska didn't start this game, it's 8-2, and there's nothing to talk about. Like,
yeah, definitely, it's not close.
So these are the wins that the fan base that doesn't necessarily agree with us wanted to see, right? They wanted to see the Avs dominate teams. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Just like if you're going to, those shots on goal don't matter. And, well, they need to produce better shots on goal. I mean, look at the Sam Girard goal tonight.
Yep.
He's in the corner and he throws a puck. He throws a puck at the net and just bounces off a guy's body and into the net. I mean, that's just stuff that happens. So... Yeah. And it was stuff that wasn't happening for them, but it was like, look, if they continue to dominate in shots on goal differential and the difference is in quality of chances, like, look, the Avs are always going to say we can play better and we can produce more quality and more of this and more of that. They're always going to say that. But realistically, you could not ask them to continue to play that much better than they were. Now, tonight was just a combination of they played really well and, look, they played a backup goaltender. The next time that you have an urge to be like, oh, why do they make every backup goaltender look like a Vezina winner? Remember that they have put 11 goals on Ryan Miller in his last 2 outings? So, they did a good job in this game. They did a great job in this game. I mean, They were down 4-2, and they could have packed it in, and instead they got mad. They jammed their foot on the gas, and they went out and they absolutely smoked Anaheim, who was 2-0-2 against the Avs coming into this game.
Yep.
Now Colorado is 3-1-1 because records are funny like that.
That easy.
Yeah, head-to-head records are so goofy when it comes into the NHL. I believe we have a couple of graphics. We talked about the 12 big homestand that they are on. They are finishing up this week, a 9-game homestand. If we could get that up there.
Yep.
Check out this homestand.
5-1-1 on the homestand now.
The only points they lost were the 1 point to Anaheim in the first Hunter Miska game. I think this one might be remembered more than the first one.
Yep.
And then the next game was that
Arizona scored 3 goals on 14 shots, all of which were deflections.
Yep, all of which were deflections directly off of Avalanche players.
Yep.
So that's the homestand right now. And look, Minnesota won again today. They are at the same number of games played. They are 1 point ahead of the Avalanche in the standings. They have an identical goal differential.
Yep.
And the Minnesota Wild are on a 5-game winning streak. The Avalanche are on a 4-game winning streak. And in the last 10, they are both 7-2-1. The Avs are 2-1-1 in the series against the Wild coming up. So this is a very, very important 2-game series coming up.
Yep. If the Avs,
now, go ahead. Sorry.
If the Avs take both of these upcoming games, the separation of them being one of the top 2 teams in the division quickly becomes a gap.
To be honest, I mean, look at where Colorado was a week ago when everybody was flipping out about how they were in 6th place in the standings that night. And now you look at where the Avs are. They are now 8 points ahead of Los Angeles and Arizona.
Yep.
They still have 2 games in hand on Arizona.
Yeah, they're comfortably in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're even 3 points ahead of St. Louis, whom they also have a game in hand on right now.
Yep.
So, they're in a good spot here. Two wins against Minnesota, that's big. That 16-game stretch that we talked about between Vegas games, they've only got 4 left.
And they're not.
It was off to a rocky start, but they're rolling now.
They're
Can we talk
bring that back up. I wanted to count. So it's 3 losses, an OT loss, and then is that 8? Yeah, 8 wins. So they're 8-3-1.
Right. We said 12-4 was the expectation for that 16-game stretch. 12-4. So hey, look, if they win all 4 of these games, and I'm not going to say that that they will or that I even expect that, but if they win all 4 of those games, they go 12-3-1, and I don't know. I get to feel good about myself for a day. I don't know.
Certainly, we've talked about the separation already happening. If they rattle off these next 4 wins, I mean, it's over. The Avs, they're right now, after tonight's win, they'll be more than 91% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what they were yesterday.
I was looking at Michael's model today, and there was like a 25% chance that they go to the Cup Finals.
Pretty good.
And I was like, oh. And that of course assumes 2 rounds of playing against Western Division teams.
Yeah.
The only team that had higher odds was Vegas, and I think they were at like 28%. So they're right there with them.
So more or less, what was predicted.
The big thing is that it was a slower start than we expected, but even then, the COVID pause I think played a major role. Because they were really looking at getting on a roll right before the pause.
Yep, despite the injuries.
Yep, and then they're on that roll now. Yep. I mean, 7-2-1 in their last 10. That covers even the horror that was last week.
Yep, the team is good. I don't know how else to put it, and already I'm sure everyone here already knows, but Byram and Confer expected to be back Thursday at this point. They're starting to get healthy too. But,
I mean, look, you get Bowen Byram, you get JT Confer back. Dan Rudolph comes out of your lineup, or Greg Patterson comes out of your lineup for sure. JT Confer, I still think it's got to be Belmar. We'll see what happens. We're all expecting it to be LOC.
You have a conversation about the fact that your bottom 6 isn't scoring. Maybe JT Confer helps it. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
You see when he gets back. But further down the line, Cale Makar practicing with the team again.
Cale Makar, okay, so the strange thing here, okay? Cale Makar is skating with the team in a regular jersey.
But still no timeline, yeah.
Is this a concussion?
That was my suspicion. Does it not have every single fingerprint of a concussion? Yeah. No timeline. He'll be back when he's back kind of theory.
When media people just wildly speculate, oh, this guy might have a concussion. But like, does
The
this,
way
does,
that he's been treated, it just
Right.
screamed concussion. Yeah.
He disappears after a game in which nobody can figure out that you and I went through every shift of that game and could not find a single thing.
Yep.
Like, could not find anything in that game that said injury, right? And then he comes back and he's skating with the team on some days. He's taking days off on other days. What other injury do you treat in that way? He comes back, he skates in a regular jersey today at morning skate.
Yep.
A regular jersey instead of in a red non-contact. So he can take contact. What other injury do you treat in this bizarre manner?
Yeah, it's weird.
It has all the fingerprints of a concussion.
Yep, it really does. Of course, we'll likely never know officially, but sure feels like one.
So to me, it just, yeah. And I think that they're being careful with it because he's Cale Makar and that's what you do.
Yep.
But it's, I mean, Comfer and Byram are going to get medically cleared tomorrow, and then they're ready to go for Thursday. I don't know how much those guys can help the team. Like, realistically, how much better do these guys get?
They
what
scored 8 goals
to
tonight.
You're gonna ask them to come in and be the exact. Hey, just keep rolling. You know.
Yep.
Because tonight, 12-5 in high danger chances, 33-10 in scoring chances, 64-25 in 5-on-5 shots. Shot attempts. Not even shots on goal. Shot attempts. It was 30-14 shots on goal at 5-on-5. Shut your face. That's so stupid.
Doubling teams up has been the norm for the Avs in the last 4 games.
Embarrassing teams has been the norm.
Yep. So.
The Kings were so embarrassed after their first game. A bunch of them faked illness so that they when it came out that they were all sick. The day after that game, yeah, they got you know how the first year of Vegas it was the Vegas flu? Teams now have the Avalanche flu. Because they give them such a thorough beating that they all start to second guess themselves. Should I be in the NHL? Should I continue playing hockey?
Not if I have to play the Avs every night.
That's right. I kid. But they've been whooping ass.
He right. On that note, we're going to get out of here for the night. We're over an hour on the podcast. So thank you, everyone watching, listening, however you consume. Highly recommend you do check it out on YouTube where you can like and subscribe to the video. That helps us out a ton. But if not, of course, if you're a next day drive to work listener, you can always check out the podcast format as well. Either way, we love y'all. Yeah, post-game content to get to. I'm sure AJ's got stuff. Evan's got stuff. I got to go clip 12 goals and talk about them. So thank you guys. Appreciate y'all a ton. Hope to see y'all tomorrow, 1:00. We'll be doing a show on something. I don't know. We'll see you there.